Hi there. I believe that everyone can understand biology. We just need to explain it in the right way, a way that makes sense to you. In this video, we'll look at IVF. We'll look at what it is and how it works. I've broken the video into chapters, so feel free to jump ahead if there's some bits you already know. So let's get started. If you're new here, welcome to BioSmash. I'm Jo, I'm a science teacher. I'll help you smash biology revision. So let's start by looking at the question, what is IVF? Some couples struggle to conceive a pregnancy naturally. This could be for many reasons. For example, if the man has a low sperm count. These couples may decide to pursue IVF to become pregnant. IVF stands for in vitro fertilization. Fertilization happens when a sperm meets an egg cell, and in vitro fertilization, the fertilization happens outside of the body in a petri dish. In IVF, an egg cell from the woman and sperm cells from the man are added to a petri dish in the hope that fertilization will happen. If the process is successful, an embryo will be made which can be transferred into the womb and it will hopefully grow into a baby. When a pregnancy is conceived naturally, fertilization happens inside the female reproductive system. Every month, one egg matures in the ovary. This egg is released from the ovary and travels down the fallopian tube. If the egg meets a sperm cell, the egg will be fertilized. And the fertilized egg cell will divide many times to form an embryo, which is a little ball of cells. The embryo implants into the wall of the uterus and starts to develop into a baby. If you want to know more about the female reproductive system or what happens after fertilization, you might find these videos helpful. I'll link them below. Now that we know what IVF is, let's look at how it works. Normally, one egg matures in the ovary every month. This one egg could be taken out of the ovary and used for IVF. However, there will be a greater chance of IVF working if more eggs are collected. The woman is given hormone injections, such as the hormone follicle stimulating hormone, which makes more eggs mature in the ovary. As you can see in this diagram, several eggs mature in the ovary rather than just one. Once the eggs have all matured in the ovary, the woman returns to the IVF centre. A procedure is carried out to remove each mature egg from the ovary. The eggs are removed one at a time, and each egg is transferred into a petri dish. If the hormone treatment has been successful, hopefully there will be several eggs collected and each one is placed in a separate dish. Whilst this is happening, the man is asked to produce a semen sample, or sometimes a semen sample is produced in advance and frozen. A sample of semen is transferred to each petri dish. The semen sample contains many sperm and they compete to fertilise the egg cell. Once the egg cell is fertilised, it divides to form 2 cells. The 2 cells then divide to form 4 cells. The embryos are left to grow in an incubator for a few days. Many incubators contain a camera so that the embryologist can watch the embryos as they grow. The 2 cells then divide to form 4 cells. You may have noticed that not all of the cells continue to divide. This is because not all egg and sperm cells are perfect. For example, they may contain the wrong amount of genetic material, and as a result, the fertilised egg cell will not be viable. However, some of the cells will hopefully continue to divide and form little balls of cells called embryos. After about 5 days, the embryos are ready to be transferred into the womb. Any embryos that have not developed properly are removed, and the remaining embryos are assessed so that the best quality embryo can be chosen. The woman then undergoes a procedure to transfer this embryo into her uterus. If there are spare embryos that haven't been used, these can be frozen and then defrosted if more embryos are needed in the future. If the couple are lucky, one of the transferred embryos will start to grow into a baby and result in a pregnancy. And 9 months later, a baby will be born. Sometimes the transferred embryo dies and does not result in a pregnancy. If there are spare frozen embryos, one of these can be defrosted and then transferred into the womb. Sometimes 2 or more embryos are transferred into the womb at the same time to increase the chances of a successful pregnancy. It's hoped that if one of the embryos dies, the other will remain and grow into a baby. However, it's possible that both of the embryos will implant into the uterus and start to grow into a baby. This will result in twins. The twins will be non-identical because they each came from a separate egg and sperm cell. Give this video a thumbs up if you're starting to understand this topic better. In this next part of the video, we'll look at ICSI. We'll look at what it is and why it's used. So the first thing you need to know is that the acronym ICSI stands for intracytoplasmic sperm injection. ICSI is often used when there's an issue with the sperm. So for example, if a man's sperm count is rather low, which means there's not many sperm in his sample, or the sperm mobility is low, meaning that the sperm don't swim in the way that they should. To increase the chances of fertilisation happening, a sperm is injected directly into an egg cell. You may know that the liquid inside the egg cell is called the cytoplasm. The embryologist will look at a man's semen sample down a microscope and choose one particular sperm that looks particularly healthy and is swimming in the correct way. They then move the sperm cell into their syringe and inject the sperm cell directly into the cytoplasm of the egg cell. If the process is successful, the egg cell will become fertilised and will start to divide into a ball of cells. And as we've previously discussed, these cells continue to divide, forming an embryo. I really hope you're finding this video helpful. If you are, then please do click subscribe. It will help you to find my other videos. Let's look at the benefits and potential disadvantages of pursuing IVF. We'll start with the advantages. The first of which is that IVF gives the opportunity for infertile couples to have children. There's also the possibility that embryos can undergo genetic testing before being transferred into the womb, which can be really useful if a couple are at risk of having a child with a genetic condition. I'll cover this in a separate video. However, IVF does have some disadvantages. Firstly, if multiple embryos are transferred, this can result in a multiple birth, such as twins or triplets, and these carry a greater risk for the mother and the babies. For example, there's a higher risk of miscarriage or stillbirth. Secondly, the success rates of IVF are relatively low, which means that many couples will be disappointed, and this can be emotionally difficult for them. The process can also be physically difficult for the woman, particularly as the fertility drugs can have side effects and can leave the woman with abdominal pain, vomiting, or feeling dehydrated. And finally, if more embryos are created than are needed, the remaining embryos will be disposed of, and this means you're disposing of potential human life, which can be an ethically difficult situation. I hope you found this video helpful. Well done for watching it all the way to the end. If there's bits you still don't quite understand, then why not watch it again? Or if you're feeling confident about this topic, you might like to check out this video next. Hope to see you again soon.